very early on when we established our relationship, he was showing me his performance of his accounts. That experience, I think, with money is like destigmatizing the veiled thing.
I think our perspective is pretty dope, man, because, Xavier had asked me before you walked in sort of about Bitcoin. And I think we've got a great story about Bitcoin because one of our first meetings, you and Kyle, we sat down and that was one of the topics. So can we let's start there.
That story. Yeah. So I'm a music manager, artist manager in the music business for the past about 15 years now. My main client, his name is Kyle, or Super Duper Kyle. And I'll never forget this because we started working with Ryan in about 2014-15 on Superphone. That's when Ryan and I developed a friendship, mentor-mentee relationship, which is a separate story. But when Kyle, in 2017, when Kyle did his record deal, Ryan took us to the Mercer Hotel to celebrate. And when we were sitting at the dinner, he looked at us and showed us his phone, and Bitcoin was at $1,000. And he said, "You guys should each buy 5 of these. You guys just did a record deal, right?" And I'll never forget this because I nervous laughed. I was like, haha, because I just didn't know. Not only had I never had $5,000 before that very moment, but also I just didn't know, is that cheap? Is that expensive? And obviously Ryan had told us prior to that, his story with Bitcoin and stuff like that, and I admired it, but it was always one of those situations where I felt like I missed the trade. And so I think in retrospect now, I think that's what I was laughing about. Anyways, that is probably in March of 2017. Bitcoin literally goes from there and runs directly to 20K. I think right around the 16K mark, I bought it, it goes up to 20K, and then right down went $3,000 or something like that. And there's so many stories, but I guess something I'll tell you is when it goes down to 3K, I'm calling around and what do I do? And he's like, well, you can sell it now that it's down and lock in your losses. And the answer was no. And so, anyways, Ryan, he was a mentor to us both on the music side and audience building side, but very quickly him and I established a relationship around money and building wealth. And I was always just loved going to his well of knowledge. I always call myself elite mentee patient zero because it was prior to this WealthPlan community, and I would call Ryan regularly and when people ask me about WealthPlan, I always tell them the elite mentorship is unreal value, right? You get this dude for 30 minutes a week, and he basically becomes your ally, your business partner, your advisor, your angel on your shoulder. Because now a lot of musicians will come to me to get to Ryan, and I'm always excited to tell them, I'm you just have to tap in and build the relationship, because he's always just been so incredibly generous, and I still can't figure out why or how we're 10 years later and we built a lot of amazing things and wealth and all this stuff. And so just thank you.
The last story I'd love for you to kind of share is it's really just a story of just kind of trust sometimes. And so I remember there was an investment, and a lot of different startup founders and investment come across my desk, and it's happened in the club, and also prior to the club, there have been opportunities that I've said, hey, just throw some money in. But talk a little bit about startup investing and our startup investment, and I think there's a nuance around it, right? Because we actually took some money, you had put it in initially, then I said, hey, let's actually go back and do it through a Roth IRA, remember? So if you could just talk a little bit about that and how that investment is.
Yeah, Ryan's also my tax advisor, started a jack of all trades, insane. Grammy nominated, Harvard educated, anyways. So Ryan had also you get around Ryan, he's showing you new technology constantly. It's like there's a new app for booking travel, there's a new app for managing your portfolio, that like just constantly, every time I get on the phone with him monthly, he's like showing me something new that he's using. And one thing that he put me onto in 2018 was this app called Titan. And Titan was basically managing like your Main Street money. It was basically an application that was investing it like a hedge fund. So it was like they'd pick 20 stocks and you could like build a portfolio with these guys, essentially giving access to just everyday Joe Schmoes like us, like hedge fund style investing. And I started using it and I really liked it. I liked it because it was outperforming all my S&P stuff. It was aggressive. You could see what you were in. They had a super sleek app. Anyways, Ryan, like having onboarded all these people, built a relationship with the founders of the company and got this opportunity to invest in it. And he basically knew I liked the product and was like, yo, would you want to invest in the company? And I'm like, yeah, that sounds dope. So him and I went into it, and then he also had optimized for me, so he had me do it through my like Roth, which required like, the other thing too is like, sometimes I realize like and this just goes to show like his selflessness, but there'll be something like challenging that you have to do like digitally, like whether it's like, I'm trying to think of a good example, like disputing some weird credit card charge or something, and Ryan will do that shit with me on the phone, and he'll be like, no, you're giving up. Why are you giving up right here? You could get $75 back. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, what? Okay. And so that, I think about that regularly, because when I'm applying it to like other business, I'm like, oh, I just need to keep like kicking the thing down, keep asking questions, keep calling. That's the other thing. He'll be like, call Chase customer service right now. While we're on the phone, I'll pick it up and he'll be like, no, ask them this. You know what I mean? Sorry, tangent, but yeah. So he helped me invest that 25K via like a backdoor Roth, right? Backdoor Roth. And I mean, it's paper gains, but it's way up. It's way up. And yeah, no, Ryan has changed my life in so many ways. He's like been and also one of the most transparent like investors too. Like that was something that very early on when we established our relationship, he was showing me his performance of his accounts and stuff like that, and things that I'm like, am I supposed to be saying this? Is he supposed to be showing? Is this how this works? But like that experience, I think with money, it's like destigmatizing the veiled thing. And that was even something in the music business that he was mentoring me on as well, was the music business is this weird veiled thing where we're not going to tell you how we got successful. Now everybody's telling you how, like on TikTok, everyone knows what they're doing, I guess. But like, there was a point in time where Ryan was always kind of just being super forthright about how a lot of this shit works. You know what I mean? Demystifying it in a way. And man, that has been so valuable. So that's even something that I've kind of like tried to embody with people that I have mentorship style relationships with and my younger homies and stuff like that.
For sure. Thanks for flying out, brother.
Anytime.